Sup, mateys? Oh, let me just double check. Okay. Alright, we are in Elpis. Continuing the final days. We are still in the past. Got MXelk, Hythlodaeus, and now we just met Venat. Who pretty much just seems like she's Heidelin, so I don't know if she was part of the sacrifices for Heidelin, and then Heidelin kind of took her form, or what? Thank you again for your timely help. Now then, 'tis time I return to this stolen property. If you'd go on ahead to my accommodation, I will join you as soon as I have attended to that task. Follow the path straight ahead to the building at the top of the slope. I have the entire place to myself, so we can speak without fear of being disturbed or overheard. Yeah, we big chilling on the couch today. Looks like I'm just gonna be lazy. So if I fall asleep, that's why. Just gonna. Let's attune to the crystal. You attune to the aetherite. Blum, bum, 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 bum. What the hell? Okay. You needn't be nervous around Vanette. Those white robes mark her as one of the fair and impartial reasoning. Aside from the emissary Elpis, such grab is worn only by those who have stepped down from the public office to serve as advisors. Whatever you have to say, she will listen without judgment. I was curious what the robe symbolizes, because it almost, at first, I was thinking implied that the people with the black robes were likely to be Zodiarch, because the Amaridians, or whatever you call them, the Amaranths, or I don't know what they're called, the Ashians. Seems as if it's said half of them did Zodiarch, half of them did Heidelin, and so I was almost thinking that they were kind of implying that based off of their robes, and it still kind of might be in a little way. Why is there just, what's flickering? Okay. MXelk. Yes, this will be far more comfortable than interrogating you on the side of the road. Welcome to my temporary abode. Please make yourself at home while I put on some tea.
いい香りですね。ほっとする。
お菓子もあればよかったのですが、旅暮らしの癖が抜けなくて、どうも身軽さを優先してしまうの。お茶のおかわりならいくらでも。お湯は温かいまま保っていますから、焦る必要もありません。ゆっくりでいい。聞かせてもらえますか？あなたのことと、ここに来た理由について。
Yeah. They're all good, you know. Calamity called the final days has befallen the world. Yep. The world's been sundered, broken into shards. Eh. And mankind is being forced to flee the star. I like the top two, first and second, but I guess we'll. Usually it seems like the first one is usually what the normal story, like what they kind of expect you to do.
順を追って話してみろ。
And it's your fault.
と無形だ。とても信じられたものじゃない。
そうだね。正直想像すらつかない部分も多いよ。ベーネス様はどう思います？
最初の週末がいつどうして起こったのかが正確でない以上、現時点では真偽を判断する材料がありません。ですから全て真実であるという前提に立って、なぜ私がそうしたのかを考えていました。大衆と14人委員会が選んだ道、それに反してハイデリーを作り出す理由を、少なくとも今の私でははっきりと説明できません。もちろんその時になってみないとわからないことも多いでしょうが、簡単に下せる決断ではなかったはず。何かもう少しそうするしかなかった要因があるように思えるのです。それからなぜあなたにエルピスの花を知るべにしろと言ったのか。花そのものや追う過程が大事だったとも考えられますが、あなたがここへ至っている以上、エルピスという場所にもきっと何かがある。それが何なのか、私はあなたに何をすべきなのか。
そっちについてはこうも考えられませんか？彼女たちの歴史においては終末は不可避となり、もう星から逃げるしかない。せめてその未来について私たちに伝えておくことで、別の歴史が生じる可能性を作りたかったとか。
確かに理屈としてはあり得る話です。
Or maybe that
それが主たる目的なら、わざわざエルピスに誘導する理由がない。留守である可能性を考慮しても、私の家にするか14人委員会のいるアーモロートを選ぶ。
it could be, you know, because when you mess with time, there's always there's multiple things, like going in the past, changing it doesn't change your timeline, which is kind of what they implied. But then there is also the loop part where when you go in the past, like I was sent to the past because previously I was sent to the past. You know, there's the loop where this in my timeline, if you look into the past, this did happen because you hit that loop where it just keeps going. Like, you need to send me in the past to keep, I don't know. That could be that too. If I explain that correctly, like, well enough. Like, this is probably not going to change anything. Like, maybe MXL from my time knew who I was.
彼女はそのハイデリンってものから向かうべき時を指定されたわけじゃない。となれば、私たちと出会えるかどうかは重要じゃなかったというわけですね。
あるいはこの偶然とも思える出会いが果たされることに何らかの根拠を持ってかけていたのかもしれませんか。
パズルをしようにも重要なピースが足りてないみたいだ。
確かな事実があるとすれば、週末が聞いた通りのものならば、それは私にとってかけがえのないものを焼き払おうとしています。
Does not like this house or something.
長い時間を費やして用意した手段が逃げるだけ。普通ならまず週末を完全に退ける方法を考えるはずでしょう。
それは14人委員会でも果たせなかったことですし、不可能だと考えたのでは。
私は不可能を信じていない。ハイデリンが私なのであれば、それだけは揺るぎない事実だと思います。
よくもまあ、こんな妄言に出てくる自分を本当に自分だと思えたものだな。私は納得していない。できるものか。この良き時代がそんなわけのわからない終わりを迎えるだと。大体そいつの語る私はおよそこの私とかけ離れているじゃないか。同胞たちがゾディアークに命を捧げたとして星のためであったなら人として誇るべきことだ。だというのに私がありし日の町を模しただと。そんなものは彼らの行いへの冒涜だろう。お前をそこに招き入れた理由も全く理解ができない。自ら計画失敗の要因を作ったようなものじゃないか。確かにこの時代の復活なんてものを背負わされると思うと嫌で嫌で仕方がない。腹の底からうんざりする。だが自分からそれを投げ出すような真似を私がすると。
That's exactly the point. You can't let your brother grow, dude. That's you choose your brethren over everyone else.
私は仕事に戻る。二度と邪魔をするな。
エメトセルク、ちょっと待ってよ。
もう一つ聞かせてください。ここまでエルピスを見てきて何か気になったことはありませんでしたか？
Either one or two. Like that one better.
なるほど。エンテレケイアであるメイティオンとその作り手であるヘルメスですか。確かに週末に関係するとおぼしきアーカーシャという力がデュナミスと同一であるならば彼らが鍵と言えそうですね。詳しく調べてみる価値はあるかと。 そうと決まれば行動あるのみです。今はまだ欠けているピースがきっとこの地にある。それを手にした時、未来の私が描いた絵の全容が、あなたが受け取るべき答えが導き出せるでしょう。私にもどうか協力させてください。大丈夫。彼が私の知るアゼムから聞かされた通りの彼ならば、きっとこのままお別れにはならないわ。
Okay, do I talk to her again? Shall we begin our investigation then? I am acquainted with Hermes, of course, but only as a visitor received by the chief overseer of Elpis. Of the man himself, I know only of that of which is common knowledge. Thus I suggest we fall back on the tried and true method of conversing with the locals. The observers who live here can surely tell us more of Hermes and Meteion, and I have a good idea of where we might begin. I am going to reset the game, I think, because I don't know what all the flickering and flashing is. Although I suspect it just has something to do with being in that house, because it happened the second I opened the door. See you, the woman standing in front of yonder building. Her name is Ismene. She's the one who made arrangements for my stay. Scale this up a little bit. Made arrangements for my stay in Elpis, and from what I recall, she has held her position here for quite some time. Chances are she can provide us with some insights. Go and ask her questions. I will help withdrawing. Ah, it's still doing it. What the fuck? And it's not the game. Adjust the HDMI cables. Why did the chat move? My apologies. Go and ask your questions. I'll help with drawing out the answers if need be. But I leave the choice of topic up to you. Questions for me? Well, I suppose I have no other pressing duties at the moment. The following event can be skipped. You may wish to cancel any pending duty finder registrations. Can't be skipped, or can be. I missed the part. Assuming can't. Greetings, Ishmeen? There's no H, but Ismeen. Certainly, Mr. Venet. Anything to be of service? What do you wish to know? What kind of person is Hermes? What are Hermes' interests? I can only answer from my own experience, but I would describe him as a quiet man, reserved, you might say, and occasionally somewhat poor with the choice of words. His reticent nature, however, does not prevent him from carrying out his duties as chief overseer. The man is a walking archive when it comes to life forms. He can discuss any species in incredible detail and is the leading authority to concepts with the power of flight. I hope that answers your questions. Was there anything else? I like all these questions. Come on. I cannot rightly say, as the chief's personal creation, Meteion has not been subjected to observation and study like other concepts. So one day, she was simply there, and what do you make of her abilities? Understand that she is highly unusual, familiar, able to read emotions and communicate directly with one's mind. Exactly how she was created with the talent, however, is a mystery to me. My apologies, I wish I could explain her nature in more depth, but I've not had occasion to discuss it with Chief Hermes. Do you wish you knew him better? Trust him's good too. The chief may not be the most gregarious individual, but he engages with us as is necessary for everyone to perform their duties, and wouldn't want to intrude upon his privacy for sake of curiosity. Though if you wish to learn more about Meteion, you could try speaking with Timaeus, another expert in creation of flying concepts. He should be conducting his observations on the bank of the stream, somewhere to the east. Oh, and unless you take particular joy in rambling discourse, I suggest to keep your questions concise. We shall keep that in mind. Thank you for your patience and your insight. Think nothing of it. If there is aught else you need during your stay, please do not hesitate to ask. Think we've taken enough of Ismeen's time. I mean, I'm curious if it has something to do with him saying Meteion's not the only one he created. He made it sound like she has a whole... There's a bunch of them that he sent off to other planets or something. Other stars. To find life forms. So I'm wondering if that has something to do with it. He certainly seems to be one of the very few people that know about the divine Aether. Our investigation is off to a fine start, wouldn't you agree? From here I propose that we split up. I shall continue making inquiries with the resident observers if you could track down the colleague Ismeen mentioned. While I did feel compelled to interject once or twice during that previous conversation, you seem more than capable of drawing forth the answers you seek. All I ask is that you watch your footing around the stream. We can meet back here once you finish speaking with this Timaeus. Why, hello. You're familiar, yes. You've come along to survey the group of Elpis, have you? Very good. Well, if you have any pressing questions, do let me know. I will do my best to answer them. You want to know about me? How thoughtful. I am taxonomist employed here at Poetin Oikos, responsible for bequeathing the creations that pass through Elpis with logical yet mellifluous names. Mellifluous. It's like Maleficus, but mellifluous. Interesting. Mellifluous. Mellifluous. Sweet or musical, pleasant to hear.
Mellifluous.
Mellifluous. Mellifluous. Mine is marvelous work. I oft spend my days imposing inspiring verses about flora and fauna. Some find these methods odd, I know, but the well of taxonomic creativity dries up rather quickly once you've seen 12 renditions of the same concept in different skins, let me tell you. This is Poitanoikos, a place where great minds come together to not only evaluate concepts, but supply them with names. You might be wondering what the name of the place itself means, to which I say many things. However, home of those who've away with words is likely the easiest for you to understand. We taxonomists express ourselves through nomenclature after all. That must be this guy. Yes, I am Timaeus, but please keep your voice down. You'll startle the birds. The following event cannot be skipped. So, what is it you wish to speak about? Is it true you're an expert on flying creations? What do you think of Chief? Chief Hermes' work, a worthy subject indeed. Those beings which soared through the clouds, majestic and graceful, are ever a favorite of creators. Even now with so many varieties in existence. The flood of sometime blah blah blah. What's a chief's creation? The part, however, is how they benefit from the boundless knowledge of the celestial realm. Birds that climb so high that they disappear from view, others which traverse the boundary sky in moments, and all without riding the currents. I know of none save he who can conceive of such marvels. Even we who prize elegance of form above all else are dumbfounded by his genius. My opinion on the matter would be superficial at best. Despite my admiration for Meteion as a concept, I've never delved too deeply into the inner workings of her nature. I know that she has a gift for communicating via emotions, but otherwise her abilities are a mystery to me. If Chief Hermes could choose to submit Meteion's concept to the Bureau of the Architect, then will design be registered for public scrutiny. Analyzing a colleague's creation before the step is frowned upon, to say the least. Of course, if he came to me, a fellow artisan, looking for advice, that would be entirely a different story. Dynamis and entelechy. Those terms do sound vaguely familiar. Was there not a flower made here in Elpis which exhibited properties of one or the other? It must have been centuries since I last heard anyone speak of such things. Has there been a resurgence in interest? Then why bring up the subject? I'm flattered that you sought my insight, but I cannot afford to neglect my duties for the sake of idle chatter. Now I really must return to my observation. Surely you have your own tasks to attend to? Well, I'll keep pestering you. As I said, I have work to be getting on with. If you wish to speak more, you'll have to wait until I finish for the day. I'll bug the fuck out of you. Back already? That was quick work. You were obviously clever enough to head off any of that rambling Ismene mentioned. So have you any new findings to share? I see even an expert in the field had little understanding of Meteon's capabilities, let alone an awareness of Dynamis. My questions resulted in much the same answers. Hermes' colleagues view Meteion as his personal project and could provide no details beyond those which you just told me. Which is slightly concerning if he's delving into things that one must not. Which leads me to believe that the only person with any significant knowledge of Dynamis is Hermes himself. Yes, we've made some progress here, but more information is needed if we are to reach any definitive conclusions. At present, the strongest link we have to the final days is the power of Dynamis and the Entelekes, which can control it. Yet most scholars are only vaguely aware of these terms, let alone study them in depth, except for Hermes, it seems. Thus I am inclined to stay our current course, learn all we can about the chief overseer and his familiar, and on the subject, was there aught else of note you can tell me about Meteion, aside from an unorthodox method of communication? They are more like her. She has sisters. Oh yeah, she has sisters and were created to journey to the stars to search for intelligent life. I'd rather wish you had mentioned that earlier. In any event, would you care to elaborate? Oh, I'm telling deep secrets. So these siblings of hers now traveled the great expanse in search of deeper meaning. Thank you, though the mystery at hand remains unresolved, I feel you've touched upon a vital clue, one we should keep in mind as we continue. Next, I propose we take ourselves to Peripetae Crystalline, not far from here. Just follow the path to the west. This tower and one further along are both part of Peripetae Crystalline, the facility where they archive all of Elpis's observational and testing records. Despite how they appear from the outside, the interior is actually a vast area of magically interconnected spaces, which, while fascinating, is not the reason we are here, is it? I shall cut my architectural lesson short and see that those two archivists have what those two archivists have to share. If you can find someone to speak with over at the other tower, I shall join you there anon. You have questions for me? Certainly, just a moment while I conclude my current appointment. Indeed, so if you could provide a comprehensive log of those behaviors, we should then have sufficient data for our official records. Now, what is it you wish to speak with me about? The Chief Overseer's personal research project, and by that I assume you mean Meteion? Such undocumented studies are difficult to track. After all, hardly a day goes past without seeing a researcher trailed by one creation or another. I'm afraid I cannot tell you exactly what Meteion appeared, only that she now spends much of her time at Chief Hermes' side. Although I do recall an interesting tale my dearest Galen shared with me. Galen is my partner and a fellow researcher here in Elpis. She was returning late one night when she caught sight of Chief Hermes sending Meteion heavensward, a host of them. For several days she would speak of the scene with wonder, describing it as one of the most beautiful spectacles she has ever witnessed. Sounds like a story I should like to hear. It sounds like a story I should like to hear. Mistress Vanot, I thought you had already returned to the surface. Permit me to thank you again for your invaluable contribution to our concept placement proposal. Pray do not mention it, as you say my original plan was to leave after the task, but I have since become engrossed with Chief Hermes' research. Would you favor me with a retelling of the sight which so delighted your Garline? Of course, you could hear it from her lips directly if you prefer. I'd very much so. At present, we should be observing a subject, Metabasios thalassi. She does enjoy her time there, watching the sea creatures hunt and play, gazing upon the salty waters of the world's oceans recreated in such sublime detail. Imagine you must find similar joy in indulging your boundless curiosity, Mistress Vanat. Even though such pursuits must continually and regretfully delay your return to the star. Indeed they do. 'Tis a rest well deserved and long overdue, I should think. How greatly have we proposed for the wisdom you accumulated during your travels as Azim. And what would Elpis be without your earlier academic work? The theories you developed served as the basis of many techniques still in use today. Man is a creature of contemplation, but none embody the nature with as much enduring passion as you. I dare say there is not a soul alive more worthy of a return. I shall rejoice the day you depart on your final journey. I will be honored. Well, shall we take the opportunity to meet with Galeen in person? Then allow me to reconfigure the door to the archives here. I'll take you up to the Skyway, and I spare you the need to avoid hostile concepts on the ground. That would be most helpful, thank you. The other archivist said not we hadn't already heard, but the story of Galeen sounds promising. I've opened the path to the Skyway. Once you pass through the door, simply walk straight across the next tower and ask for admittance to the upper tier. Upon arriving at the upper tier, we walk straight across the Skyway, and you will find yourself at the entrance to the Metabasios thalassi. Galeen will be eager to share her tale with you, I am sure. Metabasios. Mistress Vanat, just passing through. Then allow me to prepare the path. If you need further assistance, there is always an observer or two on the upper Skyway. We're as high as we can go. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Mistress Vanat, I was not told to expect. We would have prepared an unofficial welcome. Please, there is no need for fanfare. I only wish to speak with Galeen, if that might be arranged. Yes, Galeen, of course. I will inform her immediately. Ah, but she may be engaged in a testing phase. You could be in for something of a wait. Should I let her know your business is urgent? It won't be necessary. This lovely view will keep us occupied until she is ready to receive us. Totemo means very.
あなたのいた未来の世界も変わらず美しいですか？
Elpis not so much.
あなた越しに素敵な世界が垣間見えそう。一歩一歩を楽しんでいるのですね。よければ待つ間にあなたの旅の話を聞かせてください。ここに至った経緯については教えてもらいましたが、今度はもっと取り留めのないあなただけの旅の話を。ハイデリンの目的を明らかにするため、未来の世界を知りたいという意図もありますが、何より同じ旅人として興味があるのです。知らない場所に行った人から話を聞きたいと思うのは私たちのサガでしょ。そんなことがあるだなんて、はあ、私も見てみたかった。
Watashima means I also.
なんて不自由で厳しい世界。けれどそこに生きる人々のなんと愛しいことでしょう。人はそんな風にもなれる。可能性の輝きは彼方でもやっぱりきらめき続けている。ありがとう。とびきり素敵なお話でした。先ほども少し話に出ていましたが、私はもともと世界の成り立ちを追い求める学者だったのです。エーテルとは何？物はどうしてこんな形をしているの？私たちの始まりは？世界はそういった謎に満ちている。いくつかにはそれらしき答えを出しもしました。けれど突き詰めていくほどに驚きは増すばかり。世界の法則が今のようであり、私たちが存在していることはまさしく奇跡のような必然だったのです。遥か天地をめぐり移ろいながら悠久を渦巻く熱が、こうして私やあなたという形をとっている。それがどれほどの確率の出来事か思えば、想像できる範疇のことなんて何も不可能ではないように感じるのです。そう気づいた時、急激にこみ上げてきた思いが私の当たり前を打ち砕きました。何かとてつもなく大きなもの、運命だとかそういうものに命が、人が愛されているのだという感覚。同時にあまたの奇跡と不確定な可能性の上にある今がひどく脆いもののようにも思えました。私は誰かに何かに会いたくなって思わず飛び出した。この瞬間に輝く世界を見て、聞いて、感じて、もっともっと知りたいと考えたのです。
More and more. Moto, moto.
それが遠い昔の旅の始まりでした。当たり前が取り払われて った世界は何もかもが新鮮でとても美しかった。眼前に広がる地平、吸い込まれるような空、静かだけれど力強い自然の息遣い、それらの合間に人の営みが明かりを灯し、ことの葉を響かせる。そんな光景に胸が温かくなった。何より出会う人そのものがたまらなく好きだった。だから皆のためにできることをしていたら帰るに帰れなくなってしまったのです。もしかしたら未来の私もハイデリンを探し続けているのかもしれませんね。生きる理由ではなく死ぬことができる理由を、多くの可能性を持ち、故にこそ時に迷える人を、もう大丈夫だと思える瞬間を。この星の未来に生きるあなた、未だ人の行く末を問い手放せずにいる私にどうか答えて。あなたの旅は良いものでしたか？
すみません、遅くなりました。お待たせしてしまって本当にごめんなさい。観察対象がこんな時に限って暴れちゃって。
お仕事お疲れ様です。おかげでのんびり話もできましたから気にしないで。
ありがとうございます。それで私に聞きたいことというのは？
実はヘルメスの作ったメイティオンに興味があるのです。あなたは大勢の彼女が飛ぶところを見たとか。
なんだ、そのことでしたか。ええ、しっかと見ましたとも。あの日は夜の観察があったので六曜院を出たのが夜半過ぎだったんです。なんとなく星空を見上げながら歩いていたら、南東の方角に天へと昇る逆さまの流星がピカッと。いくつか立て続けに流れていったものだから、私もっとよく見えるところを探してこの島の端まで行ったんです。そしたら少し先の島にヘルメスとたくさんのメイティオンたちがいて、そのメイティオンたちが夜空へと飛んでいく姿が逆さまの流星の正体だったんです。
なるほど。それについてヘルメスと話をしたことは？
あまりに綺麗な光景だったので、翌日すぐにどんな設計で何のために飛ばしているのか聞きに行ったんです。でもまだ個人的な実験の途中だから情報を共有する段階にないって言われちゃって。だから私も話してもらえる日を待ってるところなんです。ヘルメスは今も時折あの浮島に行っているようですから、実験自体は進んでいるんじゃないかと思いますよ。
Meteion did look over at that floating isle for some reason. I guess that's why.
状況はよくわかりました。私たちも話が聞けるのを楽しみに待ちたいと思います。お伺いしたかったのはそれだけです。仕事の最中にお呼び立てしてしまって申し訳ありませんでした。
いえいえ、同じことを気にしている方に会えて嬉しかったです。あ、このまま下に降りますか？でしたら扉をおつなぎしますけど。で
はお言葉に甘えて。
Ba-da-dun, da-da-dun. Dun, 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 dun. So another piece of the puzzle falls in place. From what I've learned, what we've learned thus far, I think we can safely conclude that Hermes has been revealing the details of his research to others. Which suggests that either someone will appropriate his discoveries and make use of them, or that Hermes himself will have a hand in causing the final days. Since we have no reason yet to suspect the former, we should consider the latter the more likely possibility. Proceeding under the assumption our next steps should be to divine why, or even if he might desire such a terrible fate for our star. Maybe he feels that humans are overrun and that the creations are, you know, I don't know. I mean, because it's a big thing. The humans are turning into like crazy creations. Maybe it's his way of balancing things. I don't know. Where's my hands at? I have 5:30 and it says 5:39. From what we've learned thus far, I think we can safely conclude that Hermes hasn't been revealing the details of his research to others. Which suggests that either someone will appropriate the discovery. Yeah, we already read this. As we have a reason. Blah 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 blah. I should like to visit the site from which Hermes sent forth the Meteion. If we are fortunate, we might find some hint of what drives his research of this. Glean said that she spotted them in the southeast, rising from the isle. She could see from the edge. If we stand in that same vantage point, it should not prove too difficult to locate the isle in question. Let's take a look, shall we? Meteion looked right at it. Up in here. Oops. $7.20. Oh, maybe that's it right there. Now, if I were conducting some mystery research, where should I go? Oh, yeah. And what about that one? Have you the means to fly? 'Tis quite a distance away. Inconvenient, but hardly an insurmountable problem. To me, Argos. The dog. Oh, yeah, wow. My friend, would you mind creating a double to carry Grimortal here over to that island? Is that why the dog was friendly with me earlier? Stubborn creature, there is no place on this great star we have not together traveled, and still he remains obstinate in the presence of strangers. Argos is rather exacting standards, I'm afraid. What, you've written him before? Your before meaning my after, not at all confusing that. Interesting, 'tis certainly not unthinkable. But speaking of the here and now, the quick solution is for us to face off in a sparring match. Demonstrate to me that you are capable of holding your own against me in battle, and you should convince Argos that you are worthy of his back. And besides, I might even teach you a thing or two into the bargain. You seem doubtful, but useful lesson or not, it will certainly be a moment to remember, a memory of the distant past to cherish. What say you, traveler of out of time? Choose your battlefield. I admire your confidence. Clear your mind and prepare your weapons. I'll await you at the clearing over yonder. .360. The dog desires blood. Shall we begin? Be warned, I'll not go easy on you. I'm fucking scared. Ooh, level 88 though. These are close to endgame 90 stuff. I'm bleeding. What are the arrows? I don't know. Oh, it keeps going. Okay. Okay.
で畳みかけます。容赦はしません。これならどうです？
Ah.
「押し切れないか。でも簡単には勝たせませんよ。
I don't understand.
行きますよ。
I don't know what this means. It's following me.
まだまだ次は真っ向勝負です。
Hopefully I only have to take her down halfway.
頃合いですね。最後の試練を課しましょう。
Ah, what does that mean? And had she absorbed more balls, this would be stronger. Damn, bitch, what the fuck you trying to do? Kill me? She's like, you didn't completely get annihilated. Congratulations. You passed the test.
膝くらいはつかせるつもりでいたのですが、甘かったですね。確かアゼムと手合わせした時もそうでした。あなたといい、彼女といい、私の半分も生きていないのにたくましいこと。でもあなたの冒険がそれだけ言葉で語ってくれたのよりもずっと困難の連続だったということでしょう。お互いに実りの多い旅をしてきたようですね。
I am worthy.
あら、あなたを乗せてくれる気になったのかしら。よかったですね。その子、一度懐いた相手のことは忘れませんよ。これでいつでも背中を貸してくれるはずです。
I think the fact that the dog recognized me in the present time only goes to show that everything I'm doing I had already done. Like, this is necessary. Like, no matter what I do, I'm not going to change the past because this is what happened in the past. Argos will soon have us standing on the very spot where the Meteion made their departure into the night sky. With luck, we will learn something of Hermes' intentions. My hope is that we find no connection, no festering with wish for oblivion. Then we might have Hermes and his considerable expertise working for us rather than against us. We find no connection, no festering wish for oblivion. I mean, he's fucking depressed and sad a lot, that's for sure. Let us move over to the edge before mounting, shall we? That will allow Argos to catch the currents rising up from below and give us a smoother ride over the isle. Oh, he can't fly from here. Oh. Which would mean that Selk would have recognized me. Either current. Climb on Argos is back and we can be off. You know, I honestly cannot remember the last time he carried anyone but me. Well, Argos motions to his back with his muzzle. You've been given the go-ahead to hop on. Notiforion, quite a striking specimen, is it not? It's the only tree that's colored in this whole place. Brace yourself for the landing. I wouldn't want you tumbling off at the last moment. Oh boy.
小さな島ですね。これといって特別な機材もない。仕方がありません。過去が見られるか試してみましょう。やったことはありますか？あるけれど自在に操れるわけではないと。でしたら私が補助しましょう。もう少し近くへ。私のすぐ前に立ってください。過去を見るには大まかに2つの手段があります。一つは当人がその記憶を想起しているときに心の壁を越えて伺い見る方法。もう一つが場のエーテルに刻まれた記憶を読み解くという方法です。魂に記憶が刻まれていくように世界に満ちるエーテルにだって歴史は刻まれていくのです。もっともそういったものは消えやすいので必ず読み取れるとは限りませんが、ともかくやってみましょう。さあ、目を閉じて。
いずれの個体にも損傷はなし、順調にそれぞれが目的とする星に向けて飛んでいます。およそ108サイクル後、すべての調査を終え報告を送信する予定です。今回の伝達事項は以上。共有意識への接続を終了し自我を復旧します。だってエルメス、順調。よかったね。
本当によかった。ここまで失敗の連続だったからな。宇宙は常に予想を上回ってくる。人は未だ真理をつかんでなどいないのだと痛感させられた。
でも私たちみんなで試行錯誤いっぱいした。だから調査ちゃんと終わる。
そうだな。君たちの頑張りのおかげだ。
どんな答え返ってくるかな。生きる理由、命の意味、なんだろうね。
Maybe he gets bad answers?
アーテリスよりずっと進んでいる星もまだまだ原始的な星もあるだろう。
Because what's the dragon's name? Not Meteion, but something like that. It might even something like that. Because the dragon, the king, the father of all the dragons, before he died, he traveled amongst the stars and said that this was the best one, or something like that. And so they've already kind of talked about this being like a traveling amongst stars being a thing. and that he didn't like what he found in the other ones or something like that.
それどころか形状すら異なる知的生命がいるかもしれない。
But this must be even before that.
だとしたらきっとこの星で信じられているのとは全く別の命の捉え方をしているのではないかと思う。
全く別のはどんな？
想像もつかないな。けれどどんな答えが届いたとしても頭ごなしに否定したりせず考えていきたい。みんなに伝えて弁論してもらうのもいいだろう。その先で人だけじゃない一つでも多くの命が幸せを知れたらいいと思うんだ。メイティオン、自分は君に飛び方を教えたが歩き方は生命としての生き方は到底教えられなかった。しかし長い長い旅の果てに君はきっとそれを知る誰かに出会うだろう。そうして答えを得て再びここへ帰ってきた時には君を大いにたたえねぎらおう。
砂糖ドバドバのリンゴで？
君は食べられないじゃないか。何か形にした方がいいのならそうだな。花をいつかこの旅をやり遂げた君に心から花を贈ろう。
But she hasn't left yet. But the others have, or what?
あなたはどう思いますか？そうですね。優しくとも
It does not take ill intent to beget ill.
形で進むかどうかはまた別の話でしょう。何か意図しない事故や見落としがあって終末につながる要因を作ってしまう可能性も十分にある。そこで
Meteion dies or something like that, and he fucking freaks out.
ヘルメスにもあなたの真実を、終末のことを話してみるのはどうでしょうか。本人に最悪を望む意志がないのであれば、それを阻止すべく知恵や力を貸してくれるかもしれません。それでは急いで彼を探さなければいけませんね。あの優しい人たちが悲しい宿命に絡め取られてしまう前に、ひとまず元の島まで戻るとしましょう。
There are a number of places where Hermes might be in Elpis. But we could do worse than look in Cadiz Hyperboreae. The largest facility is Sands in Ethoseletikos Boreas, the Northern Isle. I wonder, Grimortal, for an institution which claims to studiously research every species destined to release into the world, they do not question how they find room for them all on so few islands? The answer lies within Cadiz itself. I touched upon the practice before back in the archives, where the vast area is stitched together of multiple conceptual spaces. Same holds true in the interior of the facility and its magically constructed environs. 'Tis there, within the sprawling habitats, that the chief overseer and most of Elpis's observers conduct the bulk of their work. Come, the simplest route is via the Neos, north of Poitin Oikis. Place is huge. Aga, the Neos acknowledge you as my guest. You should now have the authority to use it as you wish. As for the way to Kaitis Hyperboi, Katisis Hyperboi, we follow this path and then turn left at the crossroads. Or we cut across the grass. And get attacked. Oh my gosh. Oh, what the hell? Here are the greatest research facility in Elpis. We should head inside and ask for Hermes' whereabouts. Hermes is at another facility, as we have just discovered. Fucking Namek. Silk, so angry. Furthermore, we've confirmed that his studies into dynamics as well as his creation of Meteion were entirely private pursuits. No one else we spoke with appeared to possess the chief's depth of knowledge on the subject, and neither did we hear any tales of stolen research. Which means that if Hermes himself harbors no desire to bring down an apocalypse, then he might be recruited to help prevent one. We've came to the same conclusion. So saith the illustrious Namek Selk. According to your story, the 14 divined the connection between the celestial currents and the final days, but we were never able to pinpoint the root cause of the calamity. With our people's greatest minds, not to mention Hythlodeus' sharp eye, committed to the pursuit of a solution, such an outcome seems inconceivable. The only possible explanation is if the nature of the catalyst was so inexplicable that even we failed to perceive it. And what better fits that description than the invisible, intangible dynamis? Which in turn leads us to our next question. How did Hermes, in his whole role as Fandaniel, not recognize the subject of his own research? We must assume that he either knew and was unable to help, or that he was otherwise prevented from identifying the cause in the first place. At this juncture, all we can do is speculate. To be clear, the Convocation does not tolerate acts of deception or malice. We are practiced at perceiving truth, and we would have known had Fandaniel lied to us. Hermes has no conscious wish for the world to end. Of that I am certain. Seems there is more to the tale after all. We conducted an investigation of our own, you see. Blah, 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 blah. We can this and that. Titter tatter. How comforting. We seem to have reached the exact same conclusion. My thoughts exactly. I see no reason to delay further. 'Tis time we brought Hermes into the fold, as it were. He's gonna give me some fucking snark remark. Savory thanks I did not say I believed your ridiculous story. But as Silk, I have a duty to examine any potential threat to our existence, no matter how ludicrous or personally offensive I may find it. I should have just stayed silent. I knew he was going to be a dick. I've reached 93. Do not approach me, do not speak to me, and do not dare presume to treat me as a friend. I am merely carrying out my duty. He's a little angry guy. Let's see what she said. How lovely, our married duo has become a quartet. Past disagreements are no reason to reject collaboration in here, and now I commend MX for his practicality. I think the time of leisurely exploration is past. If I might have a moment to adjust my vision. There he is on the next aisle over. Meteion is with him. Hermes appears to be in the midst of the observational study, but I suggest we hurry over before they venture elsewhere. Head straight down the path. We can teleport to Mesopsis from the device at the bottom of the slope. Can't go in there. Another island. Just island hopping. One more after this. I'm gonna talk to MX again. What, you expect me to praise you in your progress? On the contrary, I'm simply surprised you made it this far. Then again, even if we were slowing her down, there's no denying that Venet is an accomplished researcher. Her wealth of wisdom and experience is unmatched, and her achievements in creation magics, and in any field, frankly, are nothing short of extraordinary. Though the singular brilliance which sets her apart can make her motives somewhat impenetrable at times. As her student and successor puts it, she is a force of nature, at once so close and at the same time so very distant. They are close by within the Hungering Gardens. That would be the circular enclosure you see just up ahead. Well then, Grimortal, make yourself useful and bring Hermes out here to us. If I were to go, he would assume I was only there to press him on the Fandaniel matter. Of all of us present, you stand the best chance at convincing him to put aside his work for the moment. But the creations in there are not exactly. And then again, perhaps Grimortal can handle them. She did survive a bout with Venet herself. I have to go to find Hermes, but to be prepared to come to the blows with the garden's denizens. Let's see what MX has to say again. What, you expect me to... okay, yeah, it's the same thing. Okay, these look very similar to the final days a little bit. Kind of fucked up. This thing a little fucked up. What the fuck is he? Okay. I don't mind if I kill your fucking creations here. I mean, that one spawned, right? So I should have to fight it. Event canceled. It seems wrong. Okay, yeah, but that's gonna make fucking Hermes happy. Why are you in here slaughtering things? Is that it? Like, come on. What the fuck? Why? What is happening? don't fucking see him anywhere. What the hell? Bro, it keeps coming. What the fuck? I don't see anything fucking anywhere else. Hmm? 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 Don't understand what's happening. Hunger. Search for Hermes in the Hungering Gardens. Oh my god. What are you doing here? I thought you were keeping Hythlodaeus in MXL company. It's because I have the quest icons gone. An important matter and unrelated to my decision on Fandan, you'll say, and then yes, I will come as soon as my work here is finished. It will not be long, I promise, but you should really wait outside the garden with the others. This is no place for idle exploration. I don't know, I'm kind of getting, we're taking notes. We'll talk later. You need to be concerned for our safety. Meteion and I are protected by a ward which conceals our presence from the creatures. I don't know, these creatures look like something like the final days. I think there's a little connection there. Like who the hell's who's creating that? You know? Some sick fuck. I want to create this creepy thing with like 10 mouths. I was prepared to swoop in if need be, but it's clear you have faced your fair share of monstrous opponents. What is that ghastly odor? You spoke with Hermes then, and were briefly entangled with the denizens of the Hungering Gardens as well, I see, or shall I say smell. I cannot speak for certain convocation members, but I for one am impressed with your fortitude. Well done indeed. Now that you've convinced Hermes to confer with us, let us pray that things will soon take a turn for the better. For fascinating as it would be to meet Emexelk, who would recreate Emerald in the depths of the ocean. For as fascinating as it would be to meet the Emexelk who would recreate Emerald in the depths of the ocean, I think it's best for all concerned if such tragic events never came to pass. Be it in our future or our past, assuming yours is not truly written in stone, naive hope that that is. I was prepared to swoop in. Yeah, from Selkie here. A Selkie boy. Hermes said he would not be late. Well, I guess we shall wait here until he emerges.
まさしく信じられないような話だな。私たちにしたのと同じ話をしてやれ。お前が何者で何を求めてここへ来たのか。
週末の最悪。そんな。
Won't they kind of be familiar with this though, because this happened? I don't know. The Ashians were the ones that created the calamities after, because they created. So he. So there weren't calamities before this.
デュナビスによって引き起こされているのではと考えています。そしてここでそれを最も熟知しているのはヘルメス、あなたであろうと。一方であなたが望んで終末を起こすとは思っていません。ですので私たちは糾弾するためではなく、その知恵をお借りするために来たのです。すぐに全てを信じるのは難しいかもしれませんが、この話を真実だとした場合の見解を聞かせてはいただけないでしょうか。
ベーネス様、あなたまで。確かに2度の週末はいずれもデュナミスが作用したもののように思える。顕著なのは効果の現れ方だ。1度目の週末では創造魔法を暴発させ、再来した週末では人そのものを変異させている。この違いは両時代の人が有するエーテル量の差によって生じているのではないだろうか。前にも話した通り、エーテルが少ない方がデュナミスとつながりやすい。旧来の人、つまり自分たちは大量のエーテルを有しているためデュナミスとつながりにくい。そのため体ではなく行使する術の方に影響が出た。一方で未来の人は本当に世界が分割されるのであればだが、分かたれた分だけエーテルが薄い。よってディナミスの干渉を受けやすく、自身の変化を引き起こされたと考えられるだろう。ただそうなのだとすれば、真に注目すべき点は、
憶測でもいい。言ってみろ。
真に注目すべき点は、絶望や恐怖、負の感情によってのみそれらの現象が引き起こされているという点だ。デュラミスは思いによって作用する力だからこそ、作用を受ける側と仕掛ける側が同じ思いを抱いていれば、
Source to which the victims must be attuned, one that harbors the selfsame negative emotions. Elsewise, it could not be the agent of such extreme change.
つまり週末は星の循環不全な
So
の
it
では
wasn't
ない
the stagnation of the celestial currents.
何者かが負の感情によってデュナミスを動かし、アーテリスを腐らせようとしていると。
とんだ不届き者がいたものだな。そいつの正体に心当たりは？
週末は天脈の薄い地域から本格化する。君はそう言ったな。
Celestial currents comprise the outermost layer of the star's aether, encasing it like a protective sphere.
天脈は
according to your tale,
一番外側にあるエーテルの流れだ。
which was where the currents were weakest that the phenomena first manifested, which was Amarat, wasn't it?
デュナミスを用いた侵食が星の外から来ているのなら、真っ先に食い破られるのはそこになる。
If the inciting factor came from without Aetheris, then its effects would first be seen in those locations.
こんにちは。聞こえますか？私はあなたに敵対するものじゃありません。あなたの音を聞き、思いを感じ、考えを知りたいのです。どうか仲良くしてくれませんか？
メティオン、どうしたんだ？
時間になりました。自我をシャットダウンし、共有意識に接続。私たちからの調査報告をお届けします。痛い、痛い、どうしよう。やめて、熱い、熱い。わかんない。寒いの、寒くて痛い、痛く、悲しい。
メティオン、しっかりするんだ。
悲しい、怖いよ、寂しい、苦しい。ああ、どうして私たちこんな辛いよ。痛い、憎い、憎い、苦い。違う、こんなのダメ。
離脱した。いや、消えた。
Bro, what the fuck? Ah! They found something. I fucking knew it, dude. The dragon said that there was nothing, that this star was the good place. That's why he stopped here, and that it was fucked up elsewhere. And oh my god,
体内のエーテル量を
just
調
altered
節して
the density.
環境と同化する迷彩だ。異性で出会った相手が友好的でなかった場合を想定して使えるようにしていた。優秀。でもちょっとまずいね、これは。私にも見えないよ。
お願い、来ないで。こんなの嘘。私の間違いだよ。だから。
大丈夫ですか？
We're gonna have to take the moon to go kill this fucking thing that, or something.
メティオンの声。いえ、私には姿を消す間際の一言しか。
彼女の言語によらずに心をつなげる対話術もデュナミスを用いたものなんだ。自分たちより君の方がつながりやすいのかもしれない。
なら、お前は声を頼りにメイティオンを探せ。私たちも手分けをして探すぞ。どこまで肉薄できるかは怪しいものだがな。
What the fuck? Why? It's because Hermes sent them out because he was hoping to find answers and like a positive result amongst other stars, and then now she wants to hide because they just found fucked up shit. And she doesn't want Hermes to know because it's only gonna make him more depressed. Because it's fucking dark and twisted shit out there. Who did they use as a catalyst for Zodiac, I wonder? Because Heidelin's based off of her, but then who's Zodiac based off of? God damn it. Climb the rock. Guess I'll go the long way. Bro, I'm busy. Wherever the fuck you are. Compiling a report for dissemination to Hermes and all peoples of Aetheres. Dissemination. Processing expedition data, preparing profiles on intelligent civilizations, formulating answers to the question, finalizing report. No, Grimortal, you mustn't listen. It's wrong. It's all wrong. Meteion's anguished voice flees towards the lake. Any sign of Meteion? Panic and confused, which will make it all the more difficult to predict her movements. Hermes, what do you make of this situation? The Mantii are linked to a single mind, a shared consciousness which connects them across any distance. I suspect something has happened which disrupted its usual harmony. How might we access the shared consciousness of theirs? Much as you would approach any sentient being directly. In the Metei's case, that means speaking to any incarnation within physical reach. So unless we track down the Meteions we just lost, we have no means... Track down the Meteion we just lost, we have no means to communicate with them. No way of knowing what befell her sisters, no way to provide directions or guidance. No, we had best set our musings aside and concentrate on how we might find her. A frantic search will avail us little. We must be clever about this. It's a shame there is no registered concept we could use to create another Meteion, assuming, of course, we could link her to the shared mind, but no, if it were a viable solution, Hermes would have surely suggested it. In the final days, Aether is twisted by the invasion of dynamics from beyond the star, its progress intensified by feelings of fear and despair and anguish. Nay, I like not the picture which emerges with the latest pieces. Oh, my dear Meteion, what did you witness out there that frightened you so? Why do you seek to keep it from us? How terrible could it possibly be? Frantic. Okay, we're just repeating ourselves. My apologies. We should focus on the task at hand. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Meteion renders herself invisible by matching her etheric density to that of her surroundings, does she not? If so, could we not then disrupt her concealment with a surfeit of ether? How much Emmett Silk solidified your presence when first we met you? Don't be absurd. I can hardly channel ether to a recipient whose whereabouts are hidden from me. Which is why we must all work together. Myrtle will continue the search in the same manner as before, but this time with you in tow. Once she ascertains Meteion's likely location, you proceed to reveal our waywards familiar with a swift ethereal downpour. Very clever, and thankfully she has made herself easier to capture by fleeing towards Leith. Assuming she has made it visible, it should prove no great feat to her need to herd her into a corner. And then we have our plan. Grimortal MSQ will be our tracker and trapper, respectively, while the others predict and obstruct Meteion's avenues of escape. MSQ and I will keep an eye on each other as Aether to help coordinate our efforts. Let us be about it. It's me and you, buddy. We last on Meteion and pick up her trail from there. I will keep myself in a state of preparedness, ready to rain down ether at a moment's notice, meaning it falls to you to keep the way clear. Let's talk. Now, did Meteion go straight toward the pier, or did she stray from the path somewhere? As the only one who can hear her voice, you need to take the lead. Is there places to talk to him? But you failed to hear her voice. She must be somewhere else. Nothing this way, then another route, then... Ba-da-da. Ba-da-da. Why can't I fly? Are my functions being restricted? Hide. Yes, I'll just have to hide then there where no one can find me. Meteion's anguished voice heads towards the water's edge. She went into the lake as if wasn't tiresome enough. This wasn't tiresome enough. Well, at least that open expanse should make her easier to find. We won't lose her this time. Yes, let us talk, buddy. Buddy old pal. We should be able to reach the bottom of this drop by climbing down the rocks at the water's edge. Do not even think of dragging me over the falls. Final days or no, if I end up drenched from head to toe, I swear I'll feed you to Remora. Come on, let's go. Let's get all wet. Quit. What are you doing? Be nice to her. Be a gentleman to the lady. You grump. Not here. I'm not here, please. By that rock is she very well. What? Why can't I hide? Mortal, what are you saying? Everything is so faint. I'm sorry, I'm not strong enough to stay away. I'm begging you. Don't make me say it. It will break him, his poor fragile heart. Now we have a chance. Once the others are in position, the two of us herd her into their midst. Is this Denias not in use? It seems to have been left to the mercy of the elements. Either way, it bears no trace of Meteion's essence. We move on. There, I see her. Dun, dun, dun. God damn it. Damn. Fucking kick and run. I can snatch her with some magic or something.
なるほど、そこか。お前はそのままメイティオンを追え。泉の中央にある東屋に追い込むんだ。
話をさせてくれ、メイティオン。
ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい、ヘルメス。みんな。この声が最後に誰かに届くならお願い。みんなを守って。自我のシャットダウン完了。共有意識への接続安定しています。お待たせしました。星々の調査が完了したのでご報告を差し上げます。私たちの全個体が今回目的としていた星々に到着。ヘルメスより預かった問いへの回答を求め、知的生命との接触を試みました。それぞれの星における結果を以下識別番号順にお伝えします。エーナ、文明形成の痕跡あり、住居とおぼしき建造物はあるものの現存する生命はなし。ディオ、大破した建造物の残骸が点在。地表は氷に覆われ生命は検知できず。トゥリア、都市と呼べる住居集合体が現存。知的生命は存在しないが、かつてそうであったとする思念体が残留している。テーセラ、こちらも住居とおぼしき建造物あり、現存生命はなし。疫病ないし汚染が死滅の原因と推定される。
そんな、生きている者は誰もいないのか。
オクト、全土で大規模な戦闘中。住民との接触を果たすが、彼らは間もなく破壊兵器により全滅。エンネア、一面の砂漠、植物に類する生命も発見できず、砂の中に比較的アーテリスの人に近い形状の骨が多数存在。知的生命であったかは判断不能。
おい、ヘルメス。改めて聞くが、お前がメイティオンに託した問いは何だった？
生きる理由を、命の意味をどう考えるか
と。ではその問いの前提が間違っていたらどうなる。生きる理由も命の意味も生きていればこそ、それを望んでいてこそ答えられるものだ。もしメーティオンがどれだけ飛んでも生きている者がいなかったら、生きたいなどと望んでいる者が誰一人としていなかったとしたら、そいつはこの星にどんな答えを持ち帰ってくる。
メイティオ、もうおやめなさい。探索をすぐに中断して全員帰還するのです。
デカペンデ、特定の個体を巫女と呼称し文化の中核としていた。しかしその巫女の暴動によって全滅。私にそれを語った巫女本人も問いを提示したところ、回答と称して自害、知的生命消失。
聞く耳を持たずか。メーティオンをアーモロートに連れて行くぞ。こいつを足がかりとして一連の個体を回収する手立てを考える必要がある。
Pouty, a little pouty.
メーティオン、自分を自分は君が今直面している答えを切り捨てていいのか。切り捨てられても仕方のない思いを、それでも聞いてほしいと願っていたのは誰だった。どんな答えが届いたとしても頭ごなしに否定したりしない。そう言ったのは確かに自分だった。
何のつもりだ。
メーティオンはまだ連れて行かせない。彼女の報告は終わっていないのだから。全てを聞いてどうするかを決めるのはその後だ。悪いが邪魔をしないでくれ。
大バカ者め。
What the fuck? If all Hermes means to do is listen to Meteon's report, then it is his right to do so. But once he receives the answers to his questions, what then? The fate of the world may very well hinge upon the choice he makes in that moment, and we must be there when he makes it. Why, Hermes? Why could you not leave well enough alone? Will these answers assuage the pain you feel when the creation is returned to Aether? Had you never cast your accursed question into the distant stars, you may have one day learned to be at peace upon this one. Do you understand why Hermes would do this? His logic escapes me entirely. If all Hermes means to do is listen to Meteon's rhythm, is right to do that. Hermes has headed to Catitis. Considering the expansive dimensions of the place, even, we may have a difficult time locating his either. All I can say is that he entered from the rooftop and is likely arrived at the uppermost point in the facility, so do we pursue him? Of course we pursue him. No matter what Hermes might be thinking, Meteion is a potential threat that needs to be brought under our control. The Convocation's duty to safeguard this star takes precedence over any personal stake in the matter. Bennett, Grimortal. It's clear we stand on a precipice, but we have yet to determine beyond a shadow of a doubt that Meteion is in the hand which tips us over the edge. Is the hand. Nevertheless, if we are to learn the truth of the final days, we must give chase, and even if neither Hermes and Meteion is ultimately responsible, we cannot leave them to suffer this torment alone. Agreed on all counts. Nice. You gonna teleport me there or what? Teleport me close enough. Not of the out of the ordinary. Does anyone know what caused it? Should talk to the other two. What have we here? Excuse me, has something happened inside Mr. Spinette? I'm so glad you're here. No. What prompted it, but the alarm was sounded and something from the procedure dictated that they evacuated immediately, and we have yet to investigate further. This Hermes doing, obviously. What does this state of alert entail exactly? I feel the dampening magic is draped over the entire facility, usually in response to escape entities and the like. Data scholars and observers are unaffected, but everything and everyone else is weakened to a fraction of their usual capabilities. Then consider us forewarned. We do, however, have urgent business with the Chief Hermes and must enter the premises regardless. That said, if Hermes is willing to enact such measures, I wonder what other obstacles he has seen fit to drop in our path. With an enfeebling spell in place, we're not like to be at our fighting best. And I was hardly an effective combatant to begin with, have little to offer beyond my ethereal vision. And you'll be put that talent of yours to good use. You were fairly skilled at spotting weaknesses, if I recall. Fairly skilled. Now you've gone and raised everyone's expectations. You'll need to only make the most of our strength, and you'll fill in the gaps as required. I will fill in the gaps. I was once Azam, after all. It was my job to rise to the occasion, be that as a defender, aggressor, or healer. I feel better about my lack of prowess already. And you, MXL, can impress us with your arcane magistry. You lob potent spells as easily as breathing, but can also channel the power in a protective manner if you choose, yes? Well, yes, should the situation call for it. Excellent. Then she'll cover us on all fronts. Your tale let us hear, Grimortal, so 'tis only right that you'll lead us now. No matter what lies ahead, we will win through to Hermes and Meteion. And then we will face the future together. Oh, it's a dungeon. Well, I think since it's a dungeon, I think I am going to call it here. Because I need to eat and wake up or I will fall asleep. Some fucked up shit, that's for sure. That is for sure. I'm wondering... Yeah. I mean, they're saying that it came from an outside source. All the other Meteions are outside of the star. They wanted to bring her back to Emirat, which I can't remember where the first, like, ground zero was. I want to say it started in Emirat first and then went elsewhere, because it seemed like it really caught them off guard in Emirat. What with like all the falling fucking rocks and shit. So I'm wondering if they do end up bringing her back there, and then the negative thought process that she's now incorporated with all these other dead civilizations, like, causes the weakening of the divine either. I don't know. A lot of speculation here, but we were definitely onto something when we thought about how the dragon had already traveled to other stars and didn't like what he's seen. And it seems like this is a repeat of the case, except the catalyst for the final days. So, alright. Thanks anyone watches.